writing and his integrity has already seen dubsteps walk away with awards. He joins us now in studio to talk about his offering. Andrew, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Great to be here.
So how we start this conversation, we always let our viewers know, for the benefit of viewers, give us a synopsis.
A synopsis. A guy wakes up in Joburg maybe 20, 30 years from where we are now, and there's no one left in the world. People, pets, and livestock are gone. Yeah. And he has to make his way through Joburg and South Africa, where there are no people left. He finds a couple, you know, and he has to navigate his way through a kind of a strange environment.
A world where survivors have to struggle with more than just the concept of survival. Yeah. Why?
Well, I was intrigued by the idea of, well, could there be a world where human relationships were the most valuable currency? And how would people from today's world cope in an environment where all the things we value at the moment are irrelevant? And so this character, he's a pitiful kind of guy, you know, and he's very ill-equipped on a human level to deal with a world where everything else that he did is irrelevant. Yeah. So that's the idea behind it.
And it's also based around this thing that even now in the space that we're living in, we're very cynical of each other. We don't trust each other. Yeah. There's always ulterior motives, or we suspect.
Yeah, and I mean, South Africa is a very fraught space to be at the moment. So there's the human relationships are really important, and we really struggle as a nation in various areas. We're really good in other areas, but if you just look at our socio-political life and that, it's human relationships that often define how people prosper or don't. Yeah.
It's interesting that you write in this way, and it's a debut novel when you've been ghostwriting so many books and have been writing for so long. I mean, you're also a poet, so you understand the writing space. But it's the first book you've penned your name to, and then it goes and wins an award.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a weird thing writing for other people, but I think as a writer, it gives you a very strange and useful insight into how stories are told and the mechanics of stories, you know. So it's been a very valuable experience being the guy behind the guy behind the guy, actually doing some writing, you know.
Yeah. When you have to be creative like this, and you've got an imaginary world, in real life, you're a critical thinker. You have to play in the idea space. You're a poet, so you're quite familiar with language and where it sits in that comfortability factor. How easy was it to then creatively go and create this world that is a post-apocalyptic? As you said, the biggest commodity is this human connection. How was it easy? Was it difficult, or was everything at your disposal?
No, I mean, I just had an idea about a guy waking up in an empty Joburg, and I pursued that. And then as I got into the story, it kind of developed and it got easier. And then I cut the first 30,000 words and chucked it away and kind of started again. And then it started to make sense. But initially it was quite difficult to find the idea behind this very simple idea that I'd had, yeah.
Does poetry and all the other things, how does that shape your narrative? Is there a science to it?
No, I don't think there's a science, but I think poetic form and rhythm and pace, especially in a performance space, that's what you learn when you get on stage and you perform poetry, is how to structure rhythm and pacing. And that's, I think, is a really useful skill and idea to pursue in a novel. You know, because I think today's world, people don't just sit and read. There needs to be an element of entertainment because it's a competitive entertainment space. And I think if you can take that poetic structure that works around rhythm and so forth and inject some of that into prose writing, then you're in an area where you can do a bit of performing, you know?
Do you think that's maybe why the judges chose it for the Denane Debut Fiction Award?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to ask them. But I do think in today's kind of literary world, you do have to offer something maybe that is a bit performative. Yeah. Otherwise, you might struggle a little bit. Exclusive books is a very big place, you know.
How do creatives feel about competitions?
We hate them. I mean, I've always hated competitions. I think they're terrible things, you know. And no one ever wins them that I know, you know. So
now you know somebody. You won.
Yeah. So, but I think, especially in a literary space, I think competitions can be quite important because it gives you the opportunity to be read. And when you write a novel and then you start trying to get it published, what you realize is that no one will read the thing. So what you end up selling is yourself and not the novel. And to try and get someone to actually read it is hugely difficult. I think competitions in this kind of space offer the opportunity for young writers or emerging writers to be read.
But you've been writing since the age of 15.
Yeah. But, that's how I've earned my living and so forth. But I think there's a very fundamental difference between sort of commercial writing and poetry and then novels. Novels is it's a huge thing to undertake, and the chances of being rewarded are quite small.
Yeah, well, you found it. Yeah. Wish you loads of success. It's the debut novel. It's won awards. It's called Dubsteps. It's available in all good bookstores. Go and get it. It's author Andrew Miller in studio with us with the award-winning Dubsteps. Go and find and can check out why it has won this award. Let's take an ad break. We'll be back after this.